Dr. Sarah Chun had never intended to become a revolutionary. She had signed up for the Xenological Exchange Program simply to study alien child development on Kepler 442b, home to the Zephyrians, a species that had achieved interstellar travel. Through rigid social hierarchies and unwavering adherence to tradition, the Zephyrians were an ancient race, their crystalline bodies capable of living for millennia. Their society functioned like a perfectly calibrated machine. The elders made decisions, the adults executed them, and the young ones, called seedlings, absorbed knowledge incomplete, silence until they reached maturity at 300 years. Of age, Sarah's research station sat on the outskirts of New Harmony, the Zephyrian capital. Every morning, she would observe the seedlings as they attended their learning chambers, noting their behaviors, their rapid absorption of information, and their complete lack of what humans would consider childhood joy. It was during her third month that everything changed. She had been reviewing her notes when a group of seedlings wandered too close to her station. Their large, opalescent eyes studied her with curiosity, the first genuine emotion she had witnessed from them. One seedling, smaller than the others, approached cautiously. "Human entity," it spoke in perfect standard Galactic, its voice like wind chimes. "Why do your facial muscles contract in that peculiar manner?" Sarah realized she had been smiling while reading a message from home. "Oh, this. I was happy about something." "It's called smiling. Happy?" The seedling tilted its crystalline head. "Define this term." Sarah found herself in an impromptu lesson about human emotions. She explained joy, amusement, and the concept of finding things funny. The seedlings listened with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. They had never shown such interest in their formal education. "Demonstrate funny," another seedling requested. Without thinking, Sarah began telling them about her childhood. Dog Max, who used to chase his own tail until he got dizzy and fell over. She mimicked the dog's confused expression and wobbly walk. The response was immediate. An unprecedented. The smallest seedling's body began to vibrate, producing a melodious tinkling sound. Soon, all 6 seedlings were resonating in harmony. There, crystalline forms literally lighting up with colors Sarah had never seen in adult Zephyrians. They were laughing. Over the following weeks, the seedlings returned daily. Sarah found herself teaching them jokes, showing them funny videos from Earth, and even playing simple games. Their laughter evolved from mere sound to a beautiful symphony of light, and music that could be heard across the settlement. The transformation was remarkable. The seedlings began creating their own humor, finding joy in wordplay and physical comedy. Their academic performance improved dramatically as they approached learning with enthusiasm rather than mechanical compliance. They started asking questions, something that had been unheard of in Zephyrian culture. Sarah documented everything, noting how laughter seemed to accelerate their cognitive development and emotional intelligence. She was preparing to publish groundbreaking research on the role of positive emotions in learning when the Enforcement Council arrived. Elder Crystallis, ancient beyond measure and speaking for the governing body, materialized in her research. Stationed like a living statue of pure diamond, his presence seemed to drain warmth from the air. "Human Sarah Chun," his voice resonated with the weight of millennia, "you will cease this contamination immediately." "Contamination?" Sarah stood her ground despite the intimidating presence. "I'm conducting legitimate research on childhood development. You have introduced chaos into perfect order," Elder Crystallis declared. The seedlings no longer follow designated learning protocols. They question established knowledge. They create unnecessary noise that disrupts the harmony of our society. "They're learning faster than ever before," Sarah protested. "Their creativity scores are off the charts. They're developing empathy, critical thinking. They are developing defiance." The elders' forum blazed with cold light. "The Galactic Council has reviewed your activities. Laughter is a weapon of psychological warfare. It undermines authority, promotes independent thought, and destroys social cohesion." Sarah's blood ran cold. "You're calling laughter a weapon?" 3 of our seedlings questioned the necessity of the third labor accord yesterday. Two others created what they called jokes about Elder Refractus's speech patterns. This is the beginning of societal collapse. The true scope of the situation became clear when Elder Crystalis presented her with an official decree. The Galactic Council, dominated by species that had achieved order through rigid control, had classified human laughter as a Class 7 mimetic hazard. Sarah was to be expelled from Zephyrian space, and all seedlings who had been infected would undergo emotional reconditioning. "You can't erase their joy," Sarah said, her voice breaking. "They're children. They deserve happiness. They deserve stability, order, purpose." Elder Crystalis gestured, and security drones surrounded the station. "You have 72 hours to leave this system." That night, Sarah's research station was filled with the sound of crystalline sorrow. The seedlings had somehow learned of the decree. They sat in a circle around her, their bodies dim and subdued. "Will they make us forget?" asked the smallest one. The first to have laughed. Sarah knelt beside them, fighting back tears. "I don't know, but I want you to remember something." "What?" "You felt what you learned. That's real. That's part of you now." She pulled out a small device, a personal recorder she had brought from Earth. "I'm going to leave this with you. Hidden inside are thousands of jokes, funny stories, comedy shows from my world. Promise me something when you're older, when you have the choice. Remember that there's more to existence than just following orders." The seedlings formed the harmony one last time, a bittersweet song that would haunt Sarah's dreams for years to come. As her ship departed Kepler 442b, Sarah watched the planet shrink behind her. She had failed to publish her research, failed to protect the children she had grown to love. But she had planted something more powerful than any academic paper, a seed of joy in young minds that might one day grow to change their entire civilization. 50 years later, the Galactic Council would face its first revolution. It would begin not with weapons or armies, but with the sound of laughter echoing through the crystalline halls of New Harmony. Led by a generation of Zephyrians who remembered what it felt like to be truly alive, Sarah Chun had taught alien children to laugh, and in doing so had given them the most human gift of all, the courage to question everything.